It all started one lonely night when I found myself aimlessly scrolling through social media, trying to forget my recent breakup. My name's Ryan, and after the split, I couldn't shake the feeling of isolation. That's when I came across her profile, Emma. Her photos were beautiful, her smile radiant, and her captions filled with warmth. We started chatting, and before long, we were texting constantly. At first, it was innocent, memes, random thoughts, a picture here and there. But Emma was different. She was kind, funny, and had a way of making me feel seen, like I wasn't alone. Eventually, she suggested we meet. I feel like we have a real connection. What do you think about meeting up? She asked one evening. I was hesitant at first. Meeting someone you've only talked to online could be risky. But the more we talked, the more I felt that she was genuine. So, I agreed. Emma sent me her address, and I set out the next evening, feeling a mix of excitement and nerves. The house she sent me to was on the outskirts of town, nestled near a wooded area. When I arrived, the street felt eerily quiet, the only sound being the faint rustling of the wind through the trees. The house sat at the end of a long, narrow driveway, isolated from the other homes. The faint glow of streetlights barely illuminated the surroundings. I couldn't help but feel a strange chill crawl up my spine. I rang the doorbell, but there was no answer. I knocked, but still, nothing. My phone buzzed with a message from Emma, *, I'm just upstairs. Come on in, I'm waiting for you. *. The door was unlocked, so I pushed it open. The air inside was musty, as though the house hadn't been lived in for years. The floor creaked beneath my feet, and I could hear the faintest echoes of my footsteps in the empty hallway. The house felt off. Emma? I called out, but there was no response. The house was silent, except for the occasional creak of the floorboards above. I slowly made my way upstairs. The staircase groaned with every step, and the darkness at the top of the stairs seemed to swallow the light from the hallway. When I reached the top, I saw a faint silhouette in the distance. It was Emma, standing at the far end of the hallway. She looked like she was waiting for me, but something felt wrong. She didn't move, her face too still. Emma? I called again, my voice trembling slightly. She didn't answer, but as I walked closer, I noticed her clothes were strange, old-fashioned, faded as if they hadn't been worn in years. Her face, too, looked pale, almost ghostly, in the dim light. There was something unsettling about her presence, something I couldn't quite place. I'm here, I said, trying to sound brave, but my voice shook. Without moving, Emma's lips parted, and in a voice that sounded more like a rasp than a whisper, she said, You're too late, Ryan. Before I could react, the air around me turned frigid, and I felt a strange pressure building, as if the house itself was closing in. I stumbled backward, my heart pounding in my chest. I turned to run, but the house seemed to stretch endlessly, the hallway never ending. Panic surged through me, and I bolted down the stairs, feeling the weight of the house closing in on me. I finally burst through the front door and ran into the night, not stopping until I reached my car. My hands were shaking, my heart still racing. I quickly checked my phone, but there was nothing new from Emma. Her account had disappeared. I searched again, but it was gone, her profile, the messages, everything. Confused, I drove straight to the nearest gas station, hoping to make sense of what had just happened. There, I saw an older man getting out of his truck, and on impulse, I approached him. Hey, I said, voice hoarse. Do you know anything about the house on Oakwood Lane? I was just there to meet someone named Emma. The man looked at me with recognition, but his face quickly darkened. Oakwood Lane, he repeated. You're not the first one. Emma lived there, but she's been dead for a year. Died in a car accident, not far from here. No one's heard from her since. She's gone, son. That house has been empty. I stared at him, feeling dizzy. But I was just there. She sent me her address. The man shook his head slowly. You're the fifth boy to show up, trying to meet her. Her parents tried to shut down her accounts, but somehow, her profile stayed active. It kept drawing people in. Fifth? I whispered, my mind racing. Yeah. They all came, and they all left, but not the same. They all thought they were meeting Emma. But I don't think they were. As I walked back to my car, I could feel the weight of what had happened sinking in. Emma, the girl I had been talking to for weeks, was long dead. Her social media accounts had somehow continued to function, reaching out to new victims, pulling them to that cursed house. That night, as I lay in bed, I couldn't shake the thought of how many others had fallen into the same trap I almost did. Social media had a strange way of keeping people alive long after they were gone, trapping them in the digital world. Emma had died because of it, and now, her account had become a lure, pulling unsuspecting people into the dark. The girl I thought was the key to getting over my breakup was nothing more than a ghost, haunting the digital landscape, drawing others into her tragic end. And as I drifted off to sleep, I couldn't help but wonder, how many more would fall victim to Emma's online presence before it was finally stopped?